Hello there, it is I, Retro Thomas, of YouTube fame. Well, not fame, but of YouTube is accurate enough. So I'm still programming at a crazy pace, and I did a lot of stuff this week, just nothing that looks really exciting on the surface. It's not like when I threw together my first level or, made a player jump or anything big like that. It was a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but I will bring you through it nonetheless. First, if I hit E to go into map edit mode when my window has focus, you'll see that I have a coordinate display. It shows the X and Y position of the mouse cursor. This is actually offset by the value of the camera. I'm starting every map at 200, 200, X and Y. That way I have room to place tiles, above and to the side of that, and just have a little margin for error whenever something happens. So that's the same, yet there are no buttons anymore. Well, what's the deal with that? Well, I got rid of them because they were in the way when I was placing tiles, and they were pretty annoying, and I'd click them and it'd click through to them, so I had to make a way to determine, a depth order of what got clicked and what was behind other things. It was just a real pain in the ass. So what I did is I just made everything key command based, because that's actually a lot simpler. So much for planning everything up front, huh? Things seem to just evolve as you work on them, and no big deal. So what I'm going to do is I'll bring up the toolbar by hitting T. Now the toolbar is empty. Why is that? That's because I created the ability so that I can load different tile sets into the toolbar. Like every level in Mega Man 2, for example, which is really my primary inspiration here, they all have their own tile sets. I mean, Airman's graphics aren't in Metal Man's level, and his aren't in Crash Man's level, and whatever. Every level has its own tile set, right? So I'm going to need to be able to load different tile sets here. I will show you how that works. So I bring up this toolbar by hitting T. I hit L to load a tile set. Now I bring up my console, and it scans the directories that all the tile sets are in, and it shows me the different choices of which directories there are of tile sets that have configuration files and images inside them. In this case, I already had Metal Man, and I added Wily. So I'm going to load Wily. I'll just type in the name, and then you can see the tile set here in the toolbar. So Wily is from the end level where you actually fight all the 8 master robots again. I wanted to use this to create sort of a home base level where I could do a bunch of things as an experiment, because Metal Man gets pretty tiring to look at after a while. So anyway, I'm going to close this toolbar by hitting T, and I'm going to hit M to load my main map. And you'll also see a red bar at the top of the screen. It says loading main map, then it fades away. That's something I created to give myself some feedback, so I didn't always have to stare at the console. Right now, since I resized my player sprite to be the appropriate size, it looks really tiny and everything looks kind of funny. So I did that so that I can go into full screen mode and I'll be able to get output of what's going on, and also for a little verification. Like when I save a map, I don't want nothing to happen. I'd like some confirmation and some feedback. I think that's just part of good UI design. So when I hit S to save the map, you can see that that thing appears at the top. So I just made that fade out, and kind of felt like the man, since it looks pretty sweet. So if I do that, I can also click to clear the message if it's bothering me for whatever reason. Say I'm working on tiles or whatever at the time. So in this level, I created this teleporter thing, which if you played Mega Man 2, it carries you to each different boss. And what I'm going to do with this is make it load different maps. That way I don't have to create any sort of interface and waste time doing that to load different maps. I'm actually just going to create teleporters that go to them all. So if I'm working on this level or that level, I can just go to it via the teleporter and work on it and save it, and then go back to the main level and sort of do everything within the game environment itself, which to me is cool because it's like I'm already playing the game even though it's not done, and it makes me feel really proud of what I've accomplished and feel like the man because I'm actually working within a video game in a way. So, I mean, one thing that always bothered me was, like, I used to love playing Duke Nukem 3D on the PC, right? And you had this program called Build that came with it, and you could make all kind of great levels for Duke Nukem 3D, but you couldn't do it from within the game itself. You went into this first-person mode where it's like a level preview, but it's not the same as being in the game. So right here, I want to be in the actual game. That way I can go and test jumps and make sure, like, that I get the distance on that jump you can just barely make to get that distance right, and just play it from within the game. I think that would just be a more enjoyable way to go about it, really. We'll see how that ends up working. Anyway, so I'm making this level to do that. So the next thing I'm going to do is make these teleporters active and make them function. And in my game, I also want to have this main screen that I display information on as part of like the home base you go to between levels. So I just figured I'd plop one in there and get a sense for how that'll work. And Honeybee is busy at the moment, my artist that is, because she's working on a project for Second Life. She's working on an avatar, which she releases a bunch of different things in Second Life and makes some money from it as an artist. So she's working on that for the next week or two. So I'm going to prepare a bunch of this stuff and prepare this, home base level, and then she can overlay the artwork with her own artwork because I already have the layout done for the level. So anyway, I'm kind of getting off track here with jibber jabber, but I can also load and save multiple maps now. So I can specify the name for the map that I'm saving and things like that. So I really did a lot of stuff under the hood. Nothing terribly exciting that looks really spectacular that anyone can get too excited about. That's not me. But I wanted to throw this out there. If anyone feels that they would like to see a little glimpse under the hood of how anything works, I mean, if you want to see how my map tiles move around and how the grid functions and how maps are loaded and saved, if you want to see how different frames of player animation are divided up from one image and how the sprite works and how jumping and falling works, I mean, if you want to see anything that I've done so far and would like a little bit more of an explanation, just leave me a comment, and if enough people are interested in seeing one thing or the other, I'll be happy to do that and give you a little bit of an explanation. I'm not an expert, but I've learned quite a bit just from doing this so far, and I'm already a lot further than I ever really pictured myself being, so I'd be happy to share the things that I've figured out as I've tinkered and come up with solutions here. So if you want to see anything in particular, just let me know. So I think that's it for now. So until next time, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and you will check me out on Twitter if you're on there and you want to find out what I've been up to. And leave me some comments of a positive nature, and I will be happy to read and respond to them. And I hope you enjoyed this video, so I'll see you next time. Take care.